lieben, glauben, globen.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Hello, fantasy footballers of Mermaid Pool Spa and Patio. This is your host and Commissioner Mark Costello with Evan Baker as your co-host. We'd like to welcome you to episode 7 of the Mermaid Football Fantasy Podcast.
Yeah, and you know what? Look how far we've come since the very beginning.
We've got steady listenership. It's growing.
That's right. That's right.
I think we even had someone reach out to us about sponsorship. I mean, we got to kind of keep it under wraps because the deal's not finalized yet. But
Right, we can't discuss terms, but it's going to be huge.
This podcast could be
I didn't
taken
realize that like a fruit snack company would be willing to pay such big bucks, but it's pretty lucrative deal, guys.
Yeah. Well, next week we may sell out. So, but we may have a lot more of equipment and sound effects and
Exactly.
instead of using our phones and 2 microphones.
We'll never stop using our phones. You gotta dance with who you brought, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Even if she's ugly, you still got to take her to the dance.
That's right.
All right. So let's we had a big week last week.
Lots going on. Lots of high scores. The games weren't exactly close.
No, none of the games really, like Monday night, I mean, the games are pretty much all decided, but there's a lot of trade activity in the league. Let's see, 3 trades went down last week.
Yeah.
Right on Friday, too.
Yeah, it was a lot of... Have we started getting to that point where people are panicking? Or, like, obviously Nate is 0-5. Is he in panic mode? Is he in...
If he's not, then I don't know who is.
Is he staying the course? I mean, he's gotta make a move, or... You gotta adapt or die, right?
He needs to make a move, but I don't know what move is there to be made.
Then he had Adrian Peterson on his team all year, and then drops him. And now he's the number one
running back.
That's. I guess maybe that's just par for the course. I mean, Nate's done really well these last couple years. I think he finished in the money both years.
Mm-hmm. Now it's evening out.
Exactly.
I was full on panic mode last week. I mean, my players were dropping like flies, and I mean, I turned over half my team.
Yeah. Didn't help. You still got beat by 70, so.
Still got beat by 70. Still had 2 players combined for 1 quarter of play.
Are you glad Kyle just, like, chopped your head off, or do you wish you would have, like, ripped the Band-Aid off slowly?
No. I thanked Kyle for the mercy killing. You know, those 1 o'clock games, he just thumped me. And it was great. The rest of the day, I didn't have to worry about, you know, my close, how many more points do I need, how much of a lead do I need. It was over. Enjoy the games. Let's look forward to next week.
You were like a samurai. You're like the last samurai, and you're like, you were wrong. You wronged the alliance there, and you had to carry yourself, and Kyle took care of it.
I don't know what I did to Kyle, but whatever I did, I'm sorry. Jeez.
Kyle, thank you for doing it this week and not last week.
Yeah, 169 points. So he had a shot, and he even had a shot going into the game last night to, you know, crack the top 5 of all-time scores, but Stephon Diggs kind of let him down. His defense let him down.
Did Diggs let him down, or did Sam Bradford let him down?
Sam Bradford let a lot of people down.
Yeah.
So he got 0 points for Diggs and -2 from the Texans, and he still put him. So just to put this into clarity, just him playing his quarterback and running back would have been 95 points. So I only scored 4 more points than his quarterback and 1 running back. He would have beat Jordan, Scott, Jeff, and Nate this week by just playing those 2 players. That's a good week. Do you like those weeks, or do you wish like Fournette would have had a down week because he still would have beat me and had that big week next week? Like, spread the wealth out.
You got to get as many points as you can all the time.
You
never know what next week will bring. You just gotta. I mean, Fournette could break his leg. I'm not hoping he does, but
he could.
He could break his leg and be done, or hit that rookie wall. So you got to get those, especially from the rookies. You got to You got to get them while you can.
my bold prediction is next week Kyle scores under 80.
Not sure if that's because you're bitter or if that's what you actually think is going to happen. Or
It makes me sick just thinking about it.
is Carson Wentz for real?
I mean, he's the third or fourth best quarterback in our league.
Obviously, that doesn't... Just because they've scored a lot of points, like Deshaun Watson, is he really the fifth best quarterback in the league?
Yeah, he's fifth. He's got the fifth most points.
Yeah.
We're not 1 week in, we're 5 weeks in.
Yeah. I mean, we're at that point now where we can start to gauge it a little more, but Chris Thompson's not the third best running back in the league.
Well, I mean, he was on a bye last week, so he dropped to like 7th, but...
Whatever, he's still not.
After 4 weeks, he had the third most points among running backs.
Doesn't mean anything.
If it were the second week, I'd say, yeah, okay, 2 games, but, I mean, we're at the point now, 4 or 5 games in, these guys are putting up points.
Yeah, they're starting to figure it out a little bit, but, I mean, they don't get subbed in and out like we sub them in and out on fantasy football in real life.
They're playing real football.
Yeah, exactly. So, Joe Mixon, is he the 37th best running back in the league?
Yes, I'd say he's lower than that.
You can name all right, name 36 better. I mean, I don't...
How long is this podcast going to be?
Long enough.
It's going to be a long day.
Okay. So,
right, so
last week's matchups were kind of... I mean, Adam and I had a close one till the end of Sunday night, and...
Got your heart ripped out?
I did. Got my heart ripped out. It's not...
You got Watson.
I mean, no big deal. I tied for the third most points and still lost, but here's the thing. Adam and I playing each other were like the Packers and the Cowboys. It was a great game, but somebody had to lose the game.
Someone had to lose.
And obviously, I wish it would have been the other way around. But
do you feel like you got Aaron Rodgers in this week's matchup?
I do, because Deshaun Watson just 47 points.
47 points. Hey.
I mean, then you can't beat him. Join him. So I joined him. He's on my team now.
Yep. Way to trade for him after that. Are you hoping for another 47-point outing this week?
I mean, I'll take
47 points against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's a good defense.
Yeah, a lot of garbage time.
Garbage time still counts.
But points are points. So, therefore, Deshaun Watson is not the fifth best quarterback in the league.
I tried...
But as long as he keeps scoring points like he is.
I tried to trade for the garbage time king, Devontae Parker, and unfortunately he only made it through...
He didn't make it to garbage time.
4 minutes of the game. He didn't get to the garbage time. That would have been a perfect game. That garbage time was, perfect for Devontae Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Suck Devontae Parker.
So Adam beat me by 12. We both had over 100. You got beat by 70.
I put up 99 and got beat by 70 points.
That's crazy.
That's
Blair with another solid. Blair just keeps stringing together 110 points. 110
and
points.
that was with Tom Brady
going
on the low Tom Brady side of things.
Yeah, I mean 20 points is still.
He put up a solid, just a well-rounded effort.
Everybody had almost. He averaged about 10 points.
Yep. That's what 108 points. That's going to put you in line to win.
Yep. And exactly where you need to be.
Lewis, 108 points as well.
Yeah, over Scott, which was never really in question because Scott's team sucks. I mean, he has Jameis Winston for 26, Brandon Cooks for 8 on Thursday night.
Jay Ajayi for 5, I'd like to point out.
Jay Ajayi for 5. How much did Melvin Gordon go for?
33, maybe?
33.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he took the 5 from Ajayi and the 8 from Brandon Cooks and almost tripled it. So
he lost by 14...
No, he lost by 22.
22 points. Oof. If he wouldn't have made that trade.
Man.
Well, who would he have played at receiver if he didn't have Brandon Cooks? Because
he might have played Nelson Aguilar.
Oh. So that would have been a win for Scott.
That would have been a win for Scott.
Ouch.
You know what? You're just giving it away now.
And look at that. How about 69 points winning a game?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's all about the schedule.
That's dumb. That needs to be changed.
How do you change that?
I think we talked about it last year at one point, and I don't think anybody really went for it, but I'm going to bring it up again. I liked the idea of you play your matchup every week, and you win or lose, and then the top 5 points get a point, so that way it's like you're playing 2 games every week. That way, even if you get careered on every week, you still get rewarded for scoring points. Plus, it keeps everybody a little more active because even though they may get beat by, I mean, you had 99 points.
I saw it, but I was the sixth highest score.
You were sixth, but still, 99 points is right there in the conversation for a win.
So,
I mean, you would have beat 4 other teams or 3 other teams.
And I like that idea. I don't know. The rest of the league pretty much nicks that pretty quickly, but I like the idea. The only problem I have is how do we... So, obviously, like, we can figure it out and, like, email the league, but you can't, by looking up the standings, just quickly see who's in, who's out. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one issue that I don't know how that would work.
You don't... What do you mean?
So, because ESPN, you can only... There's no option to do that.
Yeah.
So, you would have the ESPN standings, but then each week you would have to send out a separate standings to everybody saying, here's the real standings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be worth it. Who cares?
I guess here's what we'll do. Next week's podcast, after this week's games, we'll go back and we'll figure it out for what it would be if we were using that style scoring or seating, and we'll see where everybody stands versus where we're at now and see how it plays out.
Yes.
So all those weeks you got Kurt on, that's what, 5th week you got Kurt on.
No. I mean, Jordan's one win was against me, and he won by 1 point the very first week on a fluke, and that was probably his highest total at 91 points.
Yeah.
And then Adam goes 120. So Adam's team is good.
It's
good. Yeah.
Is it good?
It's better than what his record stands at 2 and 3.
Both are 2 and 3.
Yep, he scores points. He's almost outscored your entire division. He's in 4th place in ours.
Is he good with Odell Beckham breaking his ankle?
That's tough.
So now
you lose your number 1 pick. That's tough anytime.
So now he's got AJ Green, Lamar Miller, which he's trying to unload. Crowell sucks. He's got Drew Brees, Jarvis Landry, and Alshon Jeffrey. And he's got the Jags defense, which he benched this week for the Steelers.
That almost gets him a coaching dud.
Bad call.
But, I mean, are the Jags for real?
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely are now, but you wouldn't have thought that before this game.
No, at the beginning of the season, the last year they had a decent defense. It wasn't great, but they made some high-profile draft picks on defense. And
they had 10 sacks in a game this year. 10 sacks.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of sacks.
They put up 27 points twice. They're by far and away the number 1 scoring defense, and that's putting up 0 the week they got blown out to the Titans.
It's like Kyle putting up 169 with a 0 and a negative score on his team.
I guess, Adam, if you're not going to play him, I'll take him.
You just drop him and put him on the waivers and see what happens.
Put him on the waivers. A lot of injuries this last week.
A lot of injuries. I think, again, the waiver wire won't be as active. I personally don't think I'm going to put in a claim this week. I think everybody I've got is going to be somebody that I can either get afterwards if I get up at 4:30. So I can.
Do you think anybody's going to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning?
No.
Nobody that important that you think is going to slip through?
I mean, I think if they're important enough to set your alarm for, they're important enough to use a waiver for.
I think we're at the point now where things are either going to bunch back up or it's going to break away. And so I think more people are going to use it than you think.
I'm guessing. So I'm 6th on the waiver order. And I know tight end's been very thin this year, and there's been a lot of big tight end performances this year. Or this week. And so I think that could possibly go. I think Adrian Peterson gets picked up by Blair right away because it's worth a flyer. He's a number 1, exactly. Which is hard to come by not being injured. And I think that's just that's a par for the course for Nate.
Nate's had it. I would have dropped him too, I guess. He was brutal for them.
Nate, I need you to pick up some Colts and drop them so that they start doing really, really well. I just need that to happen. It's bigger than you are at this point. It's for the team here. So let's get that done.
The key is to send Nate late night trade proposals when he's drinking on campus. Because it sounds like he accepts them late at night. So, when he may be a little inebriated.
That's the way to do it. That's the way I would do it.
All right, so let's get into... We did something different this week. We've got the first podcast power rankings for our league. And we've gone through them, and we had two places that we had swapped people out. So let's just go through these here real quick. Number 1.
We had a consensus number 1.
Consensus number 1 and 2.
Yep.
Number 1 in the power rankings is
Blair Lynch,
the GOAT. And he is 4-1 atop the...
He's got a good record, and he scores a lot of points every week. I mean,
got
I get that Kyle's going to be the flashy name here, but I don't think you can put him up there yet because of 1 week.
Yeah.
And I know Kyle scored the most points in the league, but his record's still 3-2.
Yep.
And so
Still
we'll
game behind.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So number 1, Blair.
Number 2 is the horse, Lewis
horse.
Brown, and his
in
solid,
Florida.
solidly overall team that he
Yeah.
thinks is gonna. He's ready. He's primed for a championship. He said.
He goes as far as Cam Newton brings him. I mean, and everybody goes as far as their quarterback, but Cam Newton...
It's a lot of eggs to put in the Cam Newton
That's
basket.
a lot of eggs for Cam.
Lewis, if you're listening, I mean, a great insurance policy would be Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott. I mean, I've got the 5th, 6th, and 8th best quarterback in the league. So obviously there are 3 teams out there that are playing quarterbacks without top 10.
Some low guys.
Exactly. So they're out there for the taking, and I just don't know.
Ready to make some moves.
Ready to make a move. I need... You guys need a solid upgraded quarterback. I need a second wide receiver. So let's get this done.
All right, number 3. So this is where we the first differ.
This was difference number 1.
I had Kyle at 3-2,
And I had Jeff.
at 4-1.
Yep. And I went that way because I mean, if you go by playoffs, it goes by record first.
I get it. Power rankings wise, though, he has scored 130 more points than Jeff. And I know the topic is going to be brought up that the one division is weaker than the other division.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff's 4-1 record in our division versus a 3-2 record in your division.
I mean, we all don't get to play Nate twice, so.
Do I get? I think I get to play Nate 3 times this year.
Shit, I'm sure Commissioner Goodell over here.
I did a great job with
Commissioner
that.
of Pyongyang.
Yeah, suck at Pyongyang. All right, so we
flipped them.
Flip flop. Jeff and Kyle 3
I
and
had
4.
Jeff 3 and Kyle 4. You had Kyle 3 and Jeff 4.
5 and 6 is the same thing. We flip flop.
Mm-hmm.
I had you at 5 and me at 6.
And I had you at 5 and me at 6 because your record's better than mine.
Same idea that I applied to the top. We both stuck to the same guns. You stuck to record. I stuck to
points. You stuck to record. Or no, I stuck to record.
I stuck to points. I didn't really go all by points because then Kyle would have been number 1
right.
and Jeff would have been Jeff would have been like 7. But record does
Not
come
in the
into
playoffs, but he's 4-1.
Hey, he's 4-1.
You can't tell me that's a flawed system a little bit.
Hey, it's the same thing, and this is a whole other podcast in and of itself. Same thing with the NFL. It's the same system the NFL is. You can't. Teams get into the playoffs that have a worse record than other teams.
Yeah.
Same with the NBA. Now, they have talked about reseeding the playoffs 1 through 16. No conference. But
Yeah.
they said if they do that, you have to have a more weighted schedule. So the way they look at it is that you're gonna give automatic bids or higher seeds to teams that win their division.
Yeah.
The divisions are luck of the draw. Not really luck of the draw, but
We always do odds and evens every year.
We always
for
do
draft
odds and
picks.
evens. The only other way that we could do it is no divisions, 10 teams,
Mm-hmm.
1 division. But then what happens is you're going to play 4 teams twice and 5 teams once. Okay? No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you've only got 13 weeks.
So the 4 teams that gets to play Nate this week. What if? So let me throw this out at you. Say we did that, and I'm just going to use myself as an example. I drew Jordan, Nate, Scott, and Adam. I'm sorry to pick on you, Adam, but you're on the screen. You're 4th. I somehow pulled the luckiest rabbit out of the hat, and got those 4 teams to play twice. And I beat them, but I beat every one of them with low scores. So my record is going to be a lot more than points. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, you're
still going to be the same outcome. I'm still going to get in over a team that might have scored more points, but had tougher opponents. And because they lost to tougher opponents,
there's got to be a better way. You know what? It was kind of like when FanDuel and DraftKings came out, and now this new draft thing is on there. There's got to be
a better way.
A better way that you can play fantasy football that is more. You're always going to have that.
I think no matter what you do, there's always going to be that.
And it depends, and it really depends. Like if I were a low-scoring team that were 4-1, if I were Jeff, I'd be like, "Yeah, record's the most important thing." But it's like Scott. Scott's gonna be like, "Oh, record's the most important." I mean, he's 2-3, and his team sucks, but whatever.
There was the comment I got from Scott this week was that he does not care what his team does. He doesn't care if he wins, loses, draws. As long he counts it as a win as long as you lose.
That's just bitter. It's so bitter.
When
Why would he be so mad at me?
When do you guys play? I need to know when you guys play.
I mean, I've given 8 years of my Mermaid life and 8 years of my career life to this, and he's just going to be so bitter all the time.
Hold on. Week 7. That is going to be an interesting week.
I get Jeff this week. I get Scott next week. And who do I get after that? Do I know you looking at?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
that would be me.
So that's a really good stretch for me. I really need to go 2-1 over these next 2 weeks and get back to 4-4.
You get week 8 against me with no Aaron Rodgers.
I like that. And Jeff this week with Kirk Cousins coming off a bye. I mean,
a lot of buys shaping up right now.
Yeah, lots going on. And I don't have a start. Well, I just traded for Deshaun Watson, so I didn't have a starting quarterback. We'll see.
All right, so we got 5 and 6. Number 7, we kind of got off topic. Number 7 through 10, we went consensus. Adam at number 7 at 2-3. Scott at number 8 at 2-3, but Scott's put up 100 less points. Jordan, number 9, 1-4.
Yeah.
And I would like to, I did say that I would interject this into the podcast that back in week 3 maybe, there was a trade that went down, the first trade in the season of Lamar Miller and Mike Gillislee.
Mm-hmm.
Adam traded Mike Gillislee, who at the time had like 4 touchdowns and tons more points than Lamar Miller had. And it was made known to me this week by Adam in a nice way that since the trade, it is a 37-15 point favor to Lamar Miller.
Ooh. Adam bought low.
And we on this podcast kind of crucified Adam for making that trade.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Gillislee had 3 touchdowns in game 1 or something like that. Something unbelievable.
He sold high.
Yeah, he sold high.
He beat you with Lamar Miller this week.
Lamar Miller didn't have much to do with it. He could have not played Lamar Miller and still beat me.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's all because of one last drive. And so, Kareem Hunt gets 1 first down. I win. Game over. But
remember last year when it was like the Browns tight end making a miraculous catch to beat you? The butt catch?
Yeah, it was
Cameron. No,
it was the other who got really hot last year.
But it was a guy, he's not even on the team this year.
No, yeah.
White guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
I don't even know.
But he made a
Nate
butt
had
catch.
him.
Yeah, he made a butt catch to beat you, and that's ultimately what knocked you out of the playoffs.
Dumb.
Does that bring up old wounds?
Dumb.
So, the last but not least, I mean, I guess we're just going to... So, everybody else, 1 through 9, has been penciled in on the power rankings, but pretty sure we're just going to pin this one in. 330 points through 5 weeks.
That was Gary Barnage.
Gary Barnage.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gary Barnage, maybe Nate should bring him back.
Yeah, maybe he'd probably put up as many points as... Well, he put up as many points as Devontae Adams did this week. Well, 0. That's what he got credit for.
Oh, yeah, he did play him on the bench. He would have won. He would have gotten his... When I called for his first win.
I tried to. I texted him. I felt like this was his year. Or this was his week. Jeff had his quarterback on a bye or something like that. Or had a...
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It was right there.
Jeff squeaked by 69-63. And he got a 0 from his tight end. Zeros are low in that game. A lot of poo-poo platters
You
there.
could have played Rob Gronkowski and got the same score.
Exactly. Maybe you should put him in for morale. So that's our first power rankings. Nate, I don't know what to say. We're just going to keep piling on you here until you win a game. Which
If he wins a game, he instantly moves up to at least 9. I don't care what happens.
No, I think from now on, instead of saying 10, each week he's going to go down. So next week he's going to be at 11. We're just going to vacate the 10th spot. And then once he wins, then he'll go back up to 10.
Have we officially crossed him off the list of not making the playoffs this year?
So
I know it's not officially mathematically, but
he would need to win eight straight to go 8-5. Oh yeah, he's mathematically. He's not mathematically eliminated, but there's a pin stuck in him. So next question, and this is something we weren't going to discuss, but quickly, Nate's 0-5.
mm-hmm.
If he makes a trade of Amari Cooper, who hasn't done anything, or DeMarco Murray, or someone on his team, like a 2-for-1 trade, but obviously the other team's getting the better player, and it's somewhat, if he can justify it, are you okay with that, or do you think he shuts his team down for the rest of the year?
Am I okay if he trades Amari Cooper? Is that
Who's his best player? Devontae Adams?
Adams. David Johnson? David Johnson could potentially still have an impact on the league.
Back. I think, okay, that's another podcast there. I think he has you're still 0-5, but you're fighting for respect. If it were me, I would do everything in my power to beat someone, to ruin someone's season.
Does David Johnson have trade value at this point?
Yeah,
if you trade for David Johnson right now, you're basically saying that my team is good enough to get one of those top 6 spots. And Nate's not being in it, so really you have to fend off 3 other people to make
if he trade, I think if he has value to maybe those top teams in the league that they may be looking at. They're like, hey, I'm 4-1. I've got a good shot at the playoffs.
Cushion, yeah.
You
don't need to outrun the line. You just need to outrun everybody else.
I'll throw you 2 decent players for the best player in the trade, but you throw in David Johnson. Take a flyer on him. I think that's a fair trade.
So,
I don't think he has a lot of value, but
right. So if you're saying that, but he may not have a lot of value now, but he could potentially swing the playoffs. I mean, if he comes back in week 13 and
if someone offered Nate a solid wide receiver 2 and a solid running back 2, honestly, I mean, if there are upgrades over James White, there's a lot of upgrades over James White, and a slight downgrade over Devontae Adams, and you give up Devontae Adams and you throw in David Johnson and sweeten the deal with something else. I mean, you can't fault him for that.
So if you say here, and these are the only 2 that I know of, but if you say something like, all right, I've got Mike Evans. If you give him, I want David Johnson and Devontae Adams for Mike Evans and some scrub kick number 2 running back, like a Bilal Powell or
as soon
Matt
as
Forte.
As soon as Nate hears Mike Evans, he says yes. I mean, but I don't know why you would do that.
If you're just assuming that David Johnson, I mean, you're assuming that you're strong enough to get to the playoffs without. If anybody else gets hurt, though, you don't have that IR slot anymore because that's going to be used up for the rest of the year.
I don't think David Johnson has that much value.
But there's a chance David Johnson comes back or doesn't come back at all.
He may not come back at all now that All Day's there.
Not even that. I'm not
All
worried
Day's
about
going to
that.
go all wild on the next team. Who do they play next?
I don't know.
The Buccaneers.
Right where you keep your bucking hat.
At home. Oh, he's going to run wild. Adrian Peterson's going for over 100 yards this week.
Hey.
Bold prediction number 1.
They have the worst run game in the league. And it's not because their players aren't that good. I mean, the Colts got a 100-yard rusher last year.
The corpse of Frank Gore.
Corpse of Frank Gore. He's probably on your team playing him.
No, Lewis has him. I kind of thought about trading for him this year.
No, I meant last year.
Last year he was on my team. Rode him to the playoffs. All right, so let's go to last week's coaching studs and duds. I got 2 studs and 2 duds, and we're not gonna. We've kind of harped on this a little bit on the recap and the power rankings, but obviously the first stud is 169 points.
Kyle.
I mean,
It's not even close.
92 points from 2 positions is, stud.
Pretty good.
Stud. Dud, obviously, Nate,
Obviously.
pinning you in here, you're going to be a dud until you crack that 70-point mark, which 70-point mark's well below the Mason-Dixon line. Good luck.
Well below.
Like,
You're still a good quarterback away from being right where you need to be.
I mean, and that's the thing. His quarterbacks, Roethlisberger, sucked.
5 interceptions against Jacksonville.
Matt Stafford, he got hurt. I mean, he's not even really been serviceable, but my God, his team just brutal.
Yeah.
Good draft, Nate.
You need a quarterback. I got 3 in the top 10. Talk to me.
Talk to him. All right. I put stud down for Adam. 120 points, second highest score in the league.
Yeah, having the courage to start Deshaun Watson on Sunday night against the 0-5 or 5-0 Chiefs.
And I was the first, and all week long I was telling you, you know what? And this is sad, but all week I was telling you, if someone picks up a free agent quarterback and plays him against you, and you lose that free agent quarterback, nothing you can do.
47 points.
But
he's a rookie.
I feel kind of bad because I kind of talked you out of blocking Deshaun Jackson on the waiver wire.
But I don't think I had the leverage. I think I messed something. I thought I was third.
Thought you were ahead of him.
And I think Adam was third.
Yeah.
So I think I was 6th. So it wouldn't have mattered, but if I could go back and if I was in front of him, I would have Deshaun Watson blocked him.
Ouch.
I picked up Will Fuller, and who's been good the last 2 games. He had 2 touchdowns.
Hey,
so if he has 2 touchdowns again this week, then I'm going to get credit for 4 touchdowns right then and there.
If someone picks up a free agent and plays him and they go bonkers on you, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean,
you trade for him. That's what you do.
You just try to figure out, you just take that lamb out back and sacrifice it to the fantasy gods and hope your offering is better than the other guy you're playing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what Kyle sacrificed.
No joke.
It had to be something seafood, like a whale or something.
A whale.
Hopefully he didn't burn up all his karma points in that
Exactly.
I was rooting for him. At that point, I was like, you know what? I hope he just goes nuts. 200 points. But then I was like, I don't want him to break my high score of all time.
Also, shout out to Lewis for bringing that stat up.
How long do you think it took him to find all those scores from years past?
More importantly, how awful are his Mondays at work?
I know. He had to pour through, 6 or 7 years of scoreboards?
Yes.
To find all-time high scores and to rank them. That's pretty good.
That would have taken a half an hour. Solid half hour.
I'd like to hold an official league vote. The official league statistician of Lewis Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Lewis, you're now the official statistician. I need some more stats, Lewis. And if you have a really good one, don't just blurt it out on the group text. Save it for the podcast. We need lead-ins and teasers and
exactly
some great trivia. So maybe that's a good way to get you on there. Good job, Lewis. The last dud I gave it to Jordan.
Yeah,
71 points, but just a
consistently 71 points.
Awful 71 points. Jeff almost got it, but
when you win, you can't get a dud of the week.
No. Jeff had 1, 2, 3. He had 3 starters out on a bye. Actually, Jordan, I'm sorry, you had a bunch of starters out too. You had all the Falcons out. There's a bunch of bye weeks. I'll still give you a dud because you put up 71 points. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry about your luck. No depth. So those are kind of our segments for this week. Some things we want to close with.
Wait, we got to look at next week's matchups.
Okay, well, let's look at next week. So here's the problem. Last week, Adam also brought this up. Adam must record these and listen to them the whole week because he came back with the Lamar Miller trade, my prediction last week of him losing, yada yada yada. It's hard to guess on a Tuesday when the waiver wire hasn't even run. We don't know who's getting picked up. We don't know what injuries are. We don't know who's playing, who's in, who's out, things like that. I mean, we're just guessing.
We're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks.
All right, so let's go. Let's throw some shit against the wall.
All right, so let's start here. Let's start with Adam since he's following religiously.
You know what? I'm going to give Adam a win this week.
For sure, he's playing Scott.
And you know what's going to happen? He's going to lose because we both picked him to win. You're welcome, Scott. Adam, That's what happens when you
Adam's projected to score 88 with all 9 of his players. Scott's projected to score 82 with 7. So that's something.
AJ Green. Well, AJ Green's on. No, he doesn't have Drew Brees in his lineup. Is he not playing Drew Brees this week? He has Eli Manning in his lineup. That's
at
wrong.
Denver.
Yeah.
No way. Drew Brees at home against Detroit. Oh,
yeah,
he's playing the game.
on.
He's playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Odell Beckham, you gotta
IR.
no, not even buy.
That's droppable.
That's a
Drop him.
Yep.
Get him off your team. Save that IR spot for Andrew Luck.
Let's look ahead here. So let's go to the toilet bowl of games, the division seller of both divisions.
Oh.
Jordan versus Nate.
Oh.
In what could potentially be like a 50-point shootout.
Oh man, these games are bad.
Yeah, I don't know about all this.
He's got Matt Ryan coming back. He's got.
He's got Carson Palmer in, and he's already updated Devonta Freeman. So he conscientiously.
You guys are just screwing with us right now.
This can't be right. What is going on?
I'm gonna.
Matt Ryan home against Miami. Carson Palmer home against Tampa Bay.
Who do you? Let's do this. This is a shitty ass game.
Yeah.
You want to make a friendly wager? I'll let you pick who you want, and I'll take the other team. No spread, just head money line. Let's bet lunch. $5 lunch. That's our standard bet. $5 lunch. Who do you want?
Kung Fu Cafe.
You pick who you want.
I'll take
Which team?
He's still running the Amari Cooper. He still hasn't put Devontae Adams in. He's going to put Devontae Adams in. I'm giving this to Nate. I'm hoping.
Oh, you're going to take Nate?
I'm hoping for Nate.
Come on, Jordan. Come on. Pingyao. What's his name? Pingyao?
Pyongyang.
Pyongyang.
That's
Let's
the
go,
capital
Korea.
of North Korea.
Let's go, Korea. We got money on this. All right.
Oh my gosh. Ben Roethlisberger. You can drop him, right? He's a name. He's done.
All right, so this week, Jordan, I'll be texting you some fantasy advice. I need you to win. I need some free Kung Fu Cafe. Kung Fu Cafe, that's Korean? I mean, stars are aligning for me.
Stars are aligning. Kyle's team. Here's going to be a really good match, I think. Kyle and Lewis.
Lewis has told me multiple times that his team is poised for a championship run. This is his litmus test.
Yes. Does he keep Cam Newton in against Philadelphia on Thursday night?
Who else is he going to play? Tyrod Taylor?
Lewis, you need a quarterback. Call me. You can have Deshaun Watson.
I see what you're doing. Oh, yeah, Cam Newton sucks.
No, he said he's rolling with Superman the rest of the year. Direct text.
So Kyle's got... Kyle has a choice of Carson Wentz at Carolina Thursday or Marcus Mariota at Indy Monday night home. That is a horrible choice. Horrible choice.
Oh.
If Mariota, because Mariota, they're saying is going to play.
Yeah.
But he was injured last week.
Said he almost played last
week. Against the Colts secondary that's...
suspect.
Pierre Garçon looked like a stud.
They're just so dumb. I was yelling. They just do the same crossing route every time. You just stop it. You know what you do? You stop it.
That's a flip a coin, Kyle. Flip a coin.
I mean, Carson. You got to go Carson Wentz, right?
No, I always go Monday Night Magic.
But they're both playing their quarterbacks on Thursday.
I know, but I don't like that.
If they're both going to play their quarterbacks on Thursday, you roll with it, Kyle.
Who are you going to go with?
Well, I'm hoping Lewis wins because Kyle's in my division.
Well, then fine. I'll go with Kyle. I hope Kyle wins.
Dang. Okay.
Bitter.
Fine.
We're voting bitterly.
All right. Let's go to what my game is next, and I am playing Victorious Money Jeff.
Ooh.
Who, right now, I like it. I gotta find a defense to play. I don't feel good about it, but I like it. You know, I have Le'Veon Bell.
Wait, hold on a second. What's with their? Do people know they have to know we're going through this because right now he obviously set his lineup because Kirk Cousins is back in.
Yep.
He's got Jerron Brown over Michael Thomas.
Hey,
what are you doing?
You know what? Remember when he benched Marshawn Lynch? We gave him a coaching stud of the week.
That's right.
You never know.
If he wins with Jerron Brown, That's
Are we
why
sure
he's
it's
one.
Jaron and not John? Aren't they?
No,
Don't they have a
it's
Jaron and John?
Maybe he's got both of them in there.
Maybe he's not sure. He still has O.J. Howard in there.
If he beats you with Jerron Brown over Michael Thomas, that's why he's won 3 championships.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an unbelievable motivator of teams. But is Gronkowski going to play?
I'm giving it to you. I don't care. I'm giving it to you.
No. I'm out.
You're
I
in.
pass.
You won.
Fortunately, don't have to face LaShawn McCoy.
You're going to slay the dragon. Oh, then definitely you won.
All right. Let's go to the last game, the Goat versus Nuns.
Oh, boy.
I
Almost
like
made
this.
a trade with him this week, and then I realized that I was playing him.
So you guys are both projected to score under 100 right now. So that's something.
That's something.
I don't know about that. Why is... Fun fact, guess who's projected to score the most points right now?
You.
Jordan.
Oh, yeah! Oh, that's bad for me. Their adjustment on scoring sucks.
That
So
doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
I'm
But
giving
Blair
it. So,
doesn't have his defense in.
No,
He's got
but-
Cincinnati on a bye.
I'm giving it. No, I'm going to beat Blair.
You're going to beat Blair.
I want to beat Blair. Tom Brady is
You're
going
going to slay the number one. I hope you do. He's in my division.
The only way I beat him is if Tom Brady and the Patriots run the ball against the Jets the whole game.
Look, we are all playing against the other division, so I hope all 4 of your division wins except for Jeff.
Then I'll pick all your division except for me.
Okay.
Done deal. That's how we pick the
Done.
games.
It's who we want to win, not who we think's going to win.
If Blair beats me this week, that's fine as long as Jordan wins.
Here's
Jordan, I'm pulling for you.
Ultimately, if our league is super competitive like it was until the last week of the year, it's a good year.
Yeah.
And as long as the cream rises to the top, as long as the
Well, we'll find out
teams that deserve
because
it
last
get it.
year everybody was right with one another the whole time. But if we have 3 4-1 teams, and if they all win this week and go 5-1,
yeah, you start to pull away, and you start. You know who's the?
then
who
we
can you
start
pick
seeing
up?
some desperation trades.
Yep.
All my desperation trades got me hurt players.
Well, yeah.
So all right, so that's what. So obviously, right now there's a lot of trade activity going on.
A lot.
A lot of trade activity. Everybody has everybody's phone number. Trade season is in full effect. So if someone offers you a trade etiquette, if you don't like it, just reject it. Don't leave it hanging. Just
Or counter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely don't do the. Just not going to look at it. Move.
but don't get mad. Don't get mad if you put a trade out there and they're thinking about it and it's taking so long. Text them. Text someone.
That's right.
See if you can hash it out. Don't mindless, endless games of text messaging when you're really not going to trade.
Preach.
So just some etiquette. Now I know there's some people out there who will, but I mean, just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I'm in for possibly Sunday about 1:30 going out to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I could be persuaded.
So if anybody's interested in going to Buffalo Wild Wings, I will have children, so the bar's out of the question. But I mean, you can still drink in the family section.
That's the only place I like to drink. Is the family section.
Perfect.
Oh.
So I families are invited, children are invited.
Kyle and Lewis, we fully expect you to be there. Jeff, we fully expect you to be there.
If one of you guys show up, that's dedication to the team, to the league. But if anybody's interested, let us know. I mean, if nobody wants to go, then I'm not going to go. Well, I still may go. Take the kids out there; they like it. But
Could be a big week. I was just looking. This could be a big week. This is moving week.
Everybody's going to go apart or come back together.
I think this is the week where either this could be the week that puts Jordan's nail in the coffin, or
Jordan's not getting nailed in his coffin. He's getting a victory this week, and he is rolling right to Kung Fu Cafe.
what might be the most interesting matchup might be Adam and Scott, both 2 and 3.
Yep.
Could be very interesting. I'm excited. It's going to be a good week.
gonna be a
Hopefully
good
the
week.
games are competitive. Hopefully it's not over right after the 1 o'clock games like it was this week for a lot of people.
Well, if you're going to put it, so Blair, if you're going to put up 170 points on me, please do it quickly with Tom Brady and Chris Hogan. Get it out of the way. Just put me out of my misery so I can enjoy the rest of my Sunday.
That's not an unfair request. I mean, they play at the Jets at 1 o'clock, so.
They're going to. Oh, my God. Tom Brady went 20 points last week. He is going to go berserk.
They almost got beat, so that means he's going to roll.
Did they? Oh, yeah, they did almost get beat.
Yeah.
He's going to throw a bunch to Chris Hogan. I hope he throws them all to Brandon Cooks.
So does Scott.
I know. All right, so
Okay.
good luck to everybody.
No Ezekiel Elliott for you either.
Lucky me.
Dang. All right, that's it.
Good luck to everybody. If, like always, if you have any requests or any feedback, send it back to us. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the flip side. Good luck.